Vámonos. Well, down the rabbit hole on our pie cut intake adventure. This little piece here, we need to make a couple flanges, and since we're building everything ourselves, we're just going to weld a couple flanges onto here and then chop them off. So I'm going to put two little rings on 2 points here and then cut them off pretty much at my welds, clean them all up so they are nice smooth flanges. That's the turbo and the intercooler flange done. We have all the pie cuts done. Can cut straight segments out of the rest of this piece, and yeah, we're pretty much ready to start putting it together. But start with some flanges. Alright, so we have all of our pie cuts done here for the hot side of the charge pipe. We just have everything completely cut down, cleaned up, semi-polished up as well too. Just sort of cleaned up. At least this way it's prepped well, so it won't take much to polish the entire pipe up. Everything's mapped out, so all of these bends need to essentially just get put together. Everything can get done straight. We might get fancy with the start and the finish, like from the turbo and on the intercooler. Kind of start them and start kind of clocking the pieces as we go, so it almost does like a snake. I don't know. We got room to play with it, so we're gonna play with it. So we have a few of our pie cuts out here. We're going to start piecing together the hot side of the charge pipe right now. Have our little 5-piecer that's going to go off of here. We have our flange into the pipe already. We'll probably clock that down and then add this one here after a straight segment. So for right now, put this up here. Probably mark it right about here. Now let's go get out of the sun and weld this. Next we need to hook this guy up down here. Probably a little bit away from the coolant temp. Maybe drop down a bit too. Not too sure. Actually right about there's not bad, eh? Nice and low too. Yeah, so let's see. Should we go 5 inches?
Yeah, let's do it.
Put a slight angle on it too. That way we can either have it sitting over here or down. Right? Because I think everything's free and clear. Everything should be nice. So yeah, start bringing that down. Alright, so those two guys cut our segment angled so that it aims down a little bit. He'll sit like so, and this will sit like, where's all their lines? Let's line it up. Just like that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do it.
Very rough first part of the charge pipe kind of together. Haven't cleaned up any welds. This is all going to be smoothed out completely as well too. Insides are cleaned up until this weld. Not that they're dirty from the inside by any means. It's going very smooth. Hot side's really hot right now, but halfway done. Alright, so we have the intercooler taken out. This was our original cutout on the side here for where the intercooler piping was going to end up going through, just kind of a rough trim out. Now you can see on this side over here, it's already been cut down a little further. So we're going to do the same with this. We're going to trim down from up here all the way down to the inside, and pretty much this whole outer part of the C channel here is going to be removed. Trim this outer piece off too. Just trim the world. Let's go. Angle grinder time. Alright, we have intake coming together. The hot side of the charge pipe has made it down past the coolant temp sense. This guy is going to now enter here. It's that coupler. So this guy will sit up. So we have to cut a bit more of the opening here. Or a little more of an opening. It's pretty straight in there. So the plan is these two are going to come off of here, bring us around. Actually, that's the lines right there. So these guys are going to come together there, bring us around. This I think gets clocked down a bit, just a bit, and this is just the middle area we need to fill. So it's about a foot and a bit of random piping. Cut it into 4 segments and kind of clock it a little bit. That's the game plan. And then, yeah, more cutting. And then we need to clean and polish all this up. So this will all be completely one polished, almost chrome looking piece. And then we're going to heat treat the whole thing, and that's all we're going to do. That's our intake. Yeah. Slowly, it's getting there. Let's get this side done. We need this done today. Yeah, so we're almost at the point now. We've got our intake pipe coming along. I think this is next. Going to put it together right now, and then another segment as well we have marked out. So we'll get those 2 on, and then the home stretch after that. And it's a lot of grinding because it's pretty rough. So we'll smooth it all out completely, but inside is spotless clean. There's no burrs, no anything. It looks damn good. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, carrying on. All right, we're almost there. Let's put these guys together.
What we have so far.
Rough, really rough, but fucking mint. Okay, can you get the marker, baby? Next. Put this guy under here. Sorry.
Boing.
See, that'll be it, eh? That looks pretty lined up.
Third last.
Mm-hmm. It's getting there. Last one. Let's go do this. Fuck, let's put them together. Okay, I guess I'll clean this up first.
The final weld
Final weld.
for the hot side. Ah! Let's do this. Final fitment. No, it's not.
Oh, it's finally fit. That it is. Oh, man.
Fits perfectly.
Yeah, it does. Okay, that one's in. And that one's in.
Wow.
My phone. Okay, so we have all of the pie cuts cut out for cold side and a couple flanges that need to be built. So next step, bevel all the edges, clean the insides up, and start tacking them together. Go time.
Okay, so these pieces are all ground down and polished on the outside. This little piece of metal here, Ryan's just taking them down with an X-Acto knife. The knife really just works the best.
Just like
For
that.
like stainless steel cutting through mild, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it work still for stainless or stainless or no?
Well, yeah, it depends how sharp the one is and the two materials, but this does make life easier. We get a nice flat surface. Make sure it's clean. And then after the tapers are cut out of the sides, the insides are all cleaned up. One final, just any final burrs, anything. That way too I can see the flat surface all the way around the ring and make sure we don't have any gaps when the pieces go together. So, good times. Alright, so we put the couplers on the car. The lower flange cut on there. We have the smaller of our 2.5 pies here. I think we're going to put together 4 to begin with. Just completely straight in line, or however however they sit. we'll put 4 of them together, and when they're together we'll bring them out, we'll clock them properly on here and mount the flange to the rest of them, and then we'll go from there. Probably do another grouping of 3 or so and work our way up. We're gonna have to cut a lot from here. We have to trim quite a bit out. Now we are doing tube frame. It's gonna run across here eventually, so all of this will be gone. Yeah, that's it. Put some pies together and then put a flange on the end of it. Alright, final piece of the puzzle right here. This guy on, and then this little flange to finish it. And the one side is a nice solid route. Don't mind all the slag, and it's kind of gross. Nice and clean inside. It's beautiful in there. You could eat off that, but yeah, haven't addressed that yet. We will. Don't worry. For now, this has to go on, and then that is charge piping routed. Still have to put a map sensor flange into this one, another map sensor, and then a couple flanges for the diverter valve and the N75 off of the other part of the charge pipe. So we'll do that probably at the same time. For now, let's get this thing in.
Okay, here's the setup. Still need to add a few sensors and flanges for certain things on the charge pipe. Under intake too.
This is an intake. No big deal.